Mid-career class, 1993. And I hate to close on a Balkans question, but
another Balkans question.
Sorry about that. Being that, as you stated, Serbia's position was to keep Kosovo an integral part of its territory, and being that the recent settlement seems to put you on two different tracks of entry into the EU, would you describe that as a success in Serbian diplomacy or a failure in Serbian diplomacy? And the fact that we were able to settle that dispute, as you said, without another war, should we take encouragement from that disagreements can be settled peacefully, or are there lessons to be taken away that we can put into practice?
Well, I think that what happened in 2008 with Kosovo declared independence was a very, very, very dangerous potential precedent for the stability of the world. This was the first time that, since we have the International Order of 1945, that somebody tried to generate a statehood out of a unilateral declaration of secession in peacetime in the absence of agreement in the Security Council. This would have been the first. And a lot of people really took a step back saying, listen, this is something very dangerous, and the arguments for declaring Kosovo independence, in my opinion, were not very strong, given the dangers. I will always remember a conversation that I had with at the time, with a foreign minister of a major country in the world. I was trying to convince her that this was not the smartest thing to do. And the minister said, listen, this is I can totally understand what you're saying. Your arguments are very strong, but, Mr. Minister, you need to understand one thing. Kosovo is a special case. And he said, well, who has the right? First of all, who has the right to declare special cases? United States, Russia, U.S. and Russia together, Security Council. Who has the right to declare special cases? Well, okay, this is a grown-up world, so there are some people who are more equal than the other and who can declare special cases. But then I said, what is so special about Kosovo? And she said, well, Mr. Minister, you had an exceptionally brutal dictatorship. I know, by the way. And this dictatorship oppressed an ethnic minority to the point of extreme. It brought about international intervention. And although admittedly this dictator is dead and your country is a democracy, 99% of these people, they no longer want to be a part of your country, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I said, I lost you. You started now talking about Iraq, right? And she was taken aback. I said, you had an extremely brutal dictatorship, not oppressing but gassing an ethnic minority in the north. Saddam is dead. Iraq is a democracy. There was a military intervention, and 99% of Kurds want to break free. Does it mean that you are going to create an independent state of Kurdistan in the north of Iraq? Or are you trying to say that Saddam was actually not that bad? So Iraq doesn't deserve to be partitioned, and Serbia does. You see, there are great dangers stemming out of clumsiness in the way you pursue certain things in international relations. My opinion is that the last big mistake, international mistake of the George W. Bush government, was to encourage Kosovo to declare independence. It took us, 6 years, 7 years to get back to the negotiating table, the negotiations that you refer to. I think that this is the only way to resolve differences. Is this going to be a stop on a train that is going to lead us to the final resolution of this issue successfully? Yet remains to be seen. But this is definitely the way. to go down diplomatic path. But you see, after this unilateral declaration of independence, thank God we did not have a war, but it took us 7 or 8 years to get back to the negotiating table. And that's what happens in a good scenario. Imagine something happening in a bad scenario and in a place which is intrinsically more explosive than the Balkans right now. Thank you very much for your question. I was hoping to avoid it.